Namaskar. I welcome you all to the day 4 of CYP Introduction Program. Let us begin the yoga session with prayer. Please sit in a seated comfortable posture. With the back and neck straight, gently close your eyes. Both hands in Namaskar Mudra. Take a deep breath in. Sangachadhvam samvadathvam samvo manasi janata deva bhagam yatha purve sanjanana upasate sanjanana upasate. Gently bring your palms over your eyes. Slowly remove and open your eyes. So, I once again welcome you all. So, let us start the loosening practices. Please stand up at your place. Stand with your feet 2 inches apart. Close your eyes. Relax your whole body. Feel the entire weight of your body on your feet. Now, open your eyes slowly. We will go for the neck practices first. You can place your hands on your waist. We will do backward and forward bending of the neck. Exhale and slowly bend your neck forward. Inhale and take it backward. Exhale, bend forward. Inhale, take it backward. Exhale and slowly come back to the normal position. Now, we will go for the lateral bending of the neck. Exhale and bend your head toward the right side and feel the stretch on the left side. Inhale and slowly come back in the center. Now, exhale and bend toward the left side. Inhale, bring your head back to the center. Exhale, bend toward the right side. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale toward the left side. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Now, we will go for the twisting of the neck. Now, exhale, slowly move your head toward the right side. Bring your chin over the shoulder joint. Inhale, slowly bring your head back to the center. Now, exhale and move your head toward the left side. Inhale, bring your head back to the center. Exhale, move your head toward the right side again. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Exhale, bring your head toward the left side. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Now, we will go for the rotation of the neck. Exhale, bring your chin close to the chest. Inhale and slowly move your head in the clockwise direction. Exhale and slowly come down. Now, in the opposite direction, anti-clockwise, inhale and move your head backward. Exhale, come down. In the clockwise direction, inhale, slowly take your head back. Exhale, come down. Now, in the anti-clockwise direction again, inhale, slowly take your head back and exhale and come down. Inhale and slowly come back to the center. Close your eyes, bring your arms down and feel the impact of the practice. Open your eyes. Next, we will move towards the shoulders movement. For the shoulders movement, inhale and slowly lift your arms up over your head, the palms facing outside. Now exhale and slowly bring your arms down. Inhale, lift your arms up again. Exhale and bring your arms down. Close your eyes and feel the impact. Open your eyes. Now we'll go for the shoulders rotation. Inhale, slowly lift your arms from the sides. Turn your palm. Now place your fingers on the respective shoulder. Join your elbows in front. Now slowly inhale, lifting your shoulders up. Taking the elbows back, exhale, bring them down, join your elbows again. Once again, we'll repeat it again. Inhale, exhale, join your elbows. Now in the opposite direction, exhale, take it back, inhale, exhale, inhale. Now slowly take your arms to the sides, straighten your elbow, turn your palm, exhale, bring your arms down, close your eyes, relax and feel the impact of the practice. Now slowly open your eyes and we will move towards the trunk movement. For the trunk movement, your feet should be shoulder width apart. Inhale and slowly lift your arms up. Exhale and twist toward the right side with the right arm straight and left elbow bent. Look at the thumb. Twist it, twist it. Inhale and slowly bring your torso back to the center. Now exhale and twist toward the left side. Inhale and come back. Exhale toward the right side again, slowly. Make sure the shoulders in one line. Inhale, exhale toward the left side again. Feel the stretch. Inhale and now exhale slowly. Lower your arms down, close your eyes, join your legs together and feel the impact of the practice. Now we'll move towards the next knee movements. For the knee movements, your feet can be shoulder width apart. Open your eyes. Now slowly inhale, lift your arms up to the level of shoulder. Now exhale and slowly bend your knees down in the semi-squatting position. Your knees should not pass your toes. Thighs should be parallel. Inhale and come up. Exhale and bend down again. Inhale and come up. Lower your arms down with exhalation, close your eyes, join your legs together. Feel the impact of the practice. Relax. Those suffering from osteoarthritis should avoid this practice. Now open your eyes slowly and now we will move towards the Yogasana practice. We will go for Tadasana now. For Tadasana, stand with your feet 2 inches apart. Inhale and slowly lift your arms up. Interlock your fingers. Turn your wrist outward. Inhale and slowly lift your arms up. Check your alignment. Spine is elongated. The knees are soft. Now slowly lift your heels up and stand up on your toes. With normal breathing, keep focusing at any one point. Exhale, slowly bring your heels down and lower your arms down. The exhalation. Close your eyes and feel the impact of the practice. This asana provides balance and firmness to the body. If you have any injury in your ankle, if you are hypertensive, should be careful. Next, we will move towards the next practice, Vrikshasana, the tree pose. For Vrikshasana, bend the right leg with exhalation. Bend the right knee, place the right foot on the left thigh root slowly. Once you attain stability, now slowly inhale and lift your arms up, join your palms in Namaskar Mudra. Keep focusing at any one point with normal breathing. Exhale, slowly lower your arms down and your leg down. We'll repeat the practice on the other side. Now with exhalation, bend the left knee, place the left foot on the right thigh root. Slowly inhale and lift your arms up. Join your palms. Keep focusing at any one point. Maintain the posture with normal breathing. Exhale, bring your arms down and the left foot down. Close your eyes and feel the impact of the practice. This asana helps in neuromuscular coordination. Open your eyes. Next, we will move towards the next posture, Padhastasana. For Padhastasana, inhale, slowly lift your arms up. Exhale and bend forward slowly, stretching from the lower back. Try to place your palms at the side of the feet. The knees are soft, spine is flexed, the head is lowered towards the gravity. Now slowly inhale, lifting your arms up along with the torso. Exhale and bring your arms down. Close your eyes and feel the impact of the practice. This asana increases spinal flexibility, it improves digestion. If you are suffering from lower back problem, you should be careful while doing the practice. Next, we will move towards the next posture, Ardha Chakrasana. Open your eyes. Feet can be 2 to 3 inches apart. You can place your hands at the back of your waist, at the hip joint, the elbows parallel to each other, the shoulders pulled back. Inhale and slowly bend your head back. Exhale and bend your torso back. Maintain the posture with normal breathing. Exhale, slowly take your head back. Inhale, take the torso back. Release your arms with exhalation. Close your eyes and feel the impact of the practice. Ardha Chakrasana improves lungs capacity. This is excellent posture for those suffering from backache problems. Next, we will move towards the next posture, Trikonasana. For Trikonasana, spread your legs 3 to 4 feet apart. feet firmly placed on the mat. Now inhale, slowly lifting both the arms up at the level of shoulder. Now turn the right foot toward the right side. Exhale and slowly bend toward the right side. Place the right hand beside the right foot. Look up and gaze toward the sky. Maintain the posture with normal breathing. Inhale and slowly come back. Turn the right foot inside. Now we'll repeat the practice on the other side. Turn your left foot toward the left side. Now exhale and bend toward the left side and try to place the right hand beside the right foot. Look up and gaze toward the sky. Feel the stretch. Maintain the posture with normal breathing. Inhale and slowly come back. Now turn the left foot inside. Lower your arms down with exhalation. Join your legs together. Close your eyes and feel the impact of the practice. We'll do this practice again. Feet apart. The feet firmly placed on the mat. Now inhale, slowly lifting both the arms up at the level of shoulder. Now turn the right foot toward the right side. Exhale and slowly bend toward the right side. Place the right hand beside the right foot. Look up and gaze toward the sky. Maintain the posture with normal breathing. Inhale and slowly come back. Turn the right foot inside. Now we'll repeat the practice on the other side. Turn your left foot toward the left side. Now exhale and bend toward the left side and try to place the right hand beside the right foot. Look up and gaze toward the sky. Feel the stretch. Maintain the posture with normal breathing. Inhale and slowly come back. Now turn the left foot inside. Lower your arms down with exhalation. Join your legs together. Close your eyes and feel the impact of the practice. This asana stretches your waist muscles, opens your lungs, your chest region, stretches your thighs also. Next we will move towards the sitting postures. Open your eyes and we will do Vishramasana. Spread your legs. Take your hands back, the fingers pointing backward, elbows slightly flexed. Take your head back slowly. Close your eyes and relax your body as well as your mind. Vishramasana helps in relaxing your body as well as your mind. Now slowly we will move towards Dandasana. Dandasana is a Samasthiti position for all the sitting postures. Join your legs. Place your hands at the side of your body. The spine erect. Close your eyes. The feet should be neutral. This is Dandasana. Now we will move towards the next posture, Vajrasana, the thunderbolt posture. For Vajrasana, you can bend your right knee and place the right foot under the right buttock. Similarly, you can bend your left knee and place the left foot under the left buttock. Join the big toes and the heels apart. Sit on the pit formed. Join your knees together and slowly place your hands on your knees. Keep the back and neck straight. Close your eyes. This is Vajrasana. Vajrasana improves your digestion. This is the only posture that can be done after meals. But if you are suffering from osteoarthritis of the knee joint, you should avoid this practice. Now, today we will introduce Uttan Mandukasana. For Uttan Mandukasana, spread your knees and thighs in the same position, wide apart. Now, we will do a modification. For those people who find it difficult, they can do the modified version of the pose. If you find it difficult to lift your arms, you can do this way. Inhale and slowly lift your arms up. Interlace your fingers and place your hands on the forehead. Now, slowly slide your hands down up to the cervical region, slowly. Now, slowly try to place your right hand over the left shoulder blade and the left over the right shoulder blade. In this way, you can do the modified version. Do as much as you can, as per your capacity. Maintain the posture with normal breathing. Keeping the back and neck straight. So, there is maximum chest expansion into this posture. This is excellent for those suffering from cervical spondylosis and backache. Now, slowly inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, bring your arms down and place your hands on your knees. Join your knees together. Close your eyes and relax in Vajrasana. Now, we will do Uttan Mandukasana, the final posture. Once again, open your eyes, spread your knees and thighs wide apart. Now, slowly inhale, lifting your arms up, bending your elbows. Now, place the right hand over the left shoulder blade and left over the right with the elbows close to the ears. Close your eyes. Maintain the posture with normal breathing. This is Uttan Mandukasana. Now, slowly inhale, lifting your arms up, straightening your elbow joint. Exhale, bringing your arms down, placing them over the knee joint. Join your legs together. Again, close your eyes and feel the impact of this practice. We will do this practice again with another view. The back view we will show now. If you find it difficult to spread your knees, you can do in Vajrasana also, or you can do in any comfortable sitting posture also. In Sukhasana also you can do. Now, slowly again inhale, lifting your arms up. Now, cross your elbows, place the right hand over the left shoulder and left over the right, the elbows close to the ears as much as possible, keeping the back and neck straight. Feel the stretch and maintain the posture with normal breathing. Inhale, slowly lift your arms up. Exhale, bring your arms down, join your knees. Close your eyes and feel the impact of this practice. Or you can relax in Vishramasana also. The legs apart, extend your neck and feel the relaxation in your body as well as your mind. Now we will move towards the prawn postures. From here, open your eyes slowly and we will do Makarasana. For Makarasana, lie down on your abdomen. Spread your legs wide apart with the heels inside and toes outside. Flex your elbow. Now rest your head on your hand. You can turn your head toward the right side or the left side. This is Makarasana, the crocodile posture. This is excellent for relaxing your body as well as your mind. It's very good for your spine also, for cardiac patients and for acute respiratory conditions also. Now we will move towards the next posture, Saral Bhujangasana. For Saral Bhujangasana, join your legs together with the heels together, the knees together, the legs together. Stretch your arms forward, the chin on the ground. Now slowly place your palms at the side of your chest with the elbows on the floor. Inhale and slowly lift your chin and the chest up. Lift as much as you can. Feel the stretch in the lower back. Those people who are suffering from back pain, this is excellent posture. It opens the chest also. Exhale and slowly come down, lowering your chest down, your chin down, and you can relax in Makarasana once again. Close your eyes and feel the impact of this practice. If you had undergone any recent abdominal surgery, you should be careful, or hernia, you should be very careful. Next, we will do the next practice, Ardha Shalabhasana. For Ardha Shalabhasana, join your legs again, the heels together, the knees together, the legs together. Now stretch your arms forward with the chin on the ground. Now slowly place your palm beside your thighs. Now slowly inhale, lift the right leg up without bending at the knee. Don't lift too much. Lift as much as possible. Exhale, slowly bring the leg down. Inhale, we'll repeat the other side, left side. Feel the stretch in the lower back. Exhale, bring the leg down. And relax in Makarasana. Close your eyes and feel the impact of the practice. For those people who cannot do Shalabhasana, they can do Ardha Shalabhasana. Especially if you are suffering from hypertension, you should be very careful. Now today we will introduce Shalabhasana, the locust pose. First of all, we will do the modified versions. 2 modified versions we will do today. So, open your eyes. First of all, join your legs together. You can place your palms beside the chest. Now, slowly inhale, lift your head, your hand and your legs together. Exhale and slowly come down. The second variation we will go for now. Interlock your fingers and place your hand at your back. Stretch them, stretch them. Now inhale and slowly lift your head, your arms along with your legs. Lift your chest up. This is excellent chest opener also. Open the shoulder joint also. Exhale and slowly come down. You can relax in Makarasana and feel the impact of the practice. You can see in the first variation there is no pressure on the hands, tones the lower abdomen also, the core muscles also it strengthens, along with toning your buttocks and thighs and opens the chest also. In the second variation, if you can see, there is lifting of the chest along with the legs, toning the buttocks and thighs and opening of the shoulder joint also there. Now, we will move towards the main posture Shalabhasana. For Shalabhasana, join your legs together, your knees together, heels together. Now, you can stretch your arms forward with the chin on the ground. Now, you can place your palms beside your thighs slowly. Now, slowly inhale and lift both the legs together without bending at the knee. Maintain the posture. Exhale and slowly bring your legs down. Relax in Makarasana. If you are suffering from hypertension or cardiac disease, you should avoid this practice. We will repeat the practice one more time. Join your legs together again. Stretch your arms forward. Now place your palm beside the thighs and with the chin on the ground, inhale, lift both the legs together without bending at the knee and maintain the posture. There is a tendency to hold the breath into the posture. Do as per your capacity. Exhale, slowly bring your legs down and relax in Makarasana again. Close your eyes and feel the impact of the practice. Open your eyes. Now we will move towards the supine postures. For supine postures, lie down on your back. Join your legs together. Palms at the side with the palms facing floor. Now slowly inhale and lift both the legs slowly to 90 degree without bending at the knee. Now slowly exhale and bend your knees, interlace your fingers, catch your shins and pull the knee toward the chest. Now slowly exhale, lift your neck up and try to bring your neck between your knees or as much as possible. Maintain the posture with normal breathing. Inhale, slowly lower your head down. Exhale, release your legs down slowly with full abdominal control. Relax and feel the impact of the practice. Pavan Muktasana is excellent for digestive problems. Relaxes your low back muscles also, the lumbar region, and relieves constipation also. Now we will do Shavasana. For Shavasana, spread your legs wide apart, palms facing sky. Close your eyes slowly and just observe your breathing. Be aware of your breath. See the depth of your breathing. Be aware of your feet. Your feet are slowly getting relaxed. There is no tension inside. Your calf muscles are slowly getting relaxed. Your knee joints are slowly getting relaxed. There is no tension inside. Your thigh muscles are slowly getting relaxed. Your buttocks are slowly getting relaxed. Your lower body is completely relaxed. Now move your consciousness towards your upper body. Be aware of your hands. Your thumb, your fingers, your palm, your wrist joint is slowly getting relaxed. There is no tension inside. Your forearm, your elbow joint, your upper arm, your shoulder joint is slowly getting relaxed. Be aware of your back muscles, your lower back, your middle back, your upper back is slowly getting relaxed. There is no tension inside. Be aware of your abdominal muscles. Your abdominal muscles are slowly getting relaxed. There is no tension inside. Your chest muscles are slowly getting relaxed. Be aware of your neck muscles. Your neck muscles are slowly getting relaxed. There is no tension inside. Be aware of your facial muscles. Your facial muscles are slowly getting relaxed. There is no tension inside. Your chin, your cheeks, your lips, your ears, your nose, your eyes, eyebrow center, the forehead. Your whole body is completely relaxed. Now feel when you're inhaling, your abdomen is bulging up, and when you're exhaling, it sinks in. With each inhalation, energy is entering inside your body. With each exhalation, you're getting free of all your tensions and worries. Now slowly turn toward the right side, raise your right arm up and turn toward the right side. Be there for some time. Be there for some time. Now, with the support of your left hand, you can slowly sit down. Now, let us move towards a breathing practice. Sit in any comfortable seated posture, Padmasana, Ardha Padmasana, Sukhasana or Vajrasana. Keep your spine erect, your back and neck straight. Both hands in Jnana Mudra, palms resting on the knee. In Jnana Mudra, keep your eyes closed. Now just observe your breathing from bottom to top. Feel the expansion of the abdomen, the thoracic region, the lifting of the clavicle along with inhalation, and with exhalation, feel the sinking of the abdomen, the relaxation of the thoracic region and lowering of the clavicle from top to bottom. Do deep breathing for 5 more rounds. So, when you are inhaling, abdomen is coming out, there is expansion of the thoracic region, the clavicle is lifting up, and when you are exhaling, the clavicle is going down, thoracic region is relaxing back to the position, and abdomen is sinking in. Now, let us move towards Anulom Vilom Pranayama. For Anulom Vilom Pranayama, the left hand will be in Jnana Mudra and will make Nasagra Mudra with the right hand. Now, we will close the right nostril with the help of the thumb and slowly inhale through the left nostril and exhale through the right. Now, slowly inhale through the right nostril and exhale through the left nostril. This is one round of Anulom Vilom Pranayama. Do 4 such rounds, keeping the back and neck straight. Long, deep, slow breath going inside the body and leaving the body. Anulom Vilom Pranayama purifies all the energy channels inside your body. While doing the practice, feel all the nadis in the body are getting purified. After completing 4 rounds, you can place the right hand in Jnana Mudra on the knee. Keep your eyes closed and feel the impact of the practice in your body as well as your mind. Anulom Vilom Pranayam. This is excellent practice for stress related disorders. It balances both the lunar and the solar sides inside us. Now, before starting meditation, just see how's your body, if it is energized, relaxed or tense. Check your breathing, if it is fast or slow and rhythmic. Observe your breathing. Check your thoughts and feelings at this present moment crossing your mind. Are your thoughts sattvic or oriented? Observe your thoughts and feelings. Are you feeling happiness, calmness, feeling of love inside, or stress or anxiety? What are your feelings at this present moment? Now, keeping the back and neck straight, observe your breathing, your thoughts, meditate, meditate. Meditation is the most important component of yoga practice. It brings clarity to the mind. It calms down your mind and tranquilizes you. Meditate. Observe your thoughts. Just be a witness. Don't fight with your thoughts. Just accept whatever comes in your mind. If there are no thoughts crossing your mind, then experience the silence within. Once again, bring your awareness back to your breathing. And do a resolution. Do sankalpa for a day, any one sankalpa. I commit myself to always be in a balanced state of mind. I commit to do my duty to self, family, at work, to society and to the world for the health, happiness and harmony and peace at large. I commit to follow human values and do my work with devotion for the development of the nation. Now, we will end the session with Shanti part. Join your palms in Namaskar Mudra. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschit dukh bhag bhavet, ma kaschit dukh bhag bhavet, ma kaschit dukh bhag bhavet. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your palms on your eyes. Gently remove and open your eyes. Thank you. Have a nice day. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Namaskar. I welcome you all in today's lecture session. Let us begin the session with prayer. Close your eyes gently. Both hands in Namaskar Mudra. Align your spine. Your back and neck should be straight. Breathe deeply. Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, saheviram karvavahai, tejasvina vadhitamastu, ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently place your palms on your eyes. Open your eyes. Once again, I welcome you all. Today's lecture session topic is Principles of Alignment and Relaxation in Yoga Sadhana. You must have noticed that I advise you to keep your eyes closed with the back and neck straight, breathe deeply. What is the significance of the back and neck straight? What is the significance of being aware of your breathing? That we will learn today in this lecture session. What is the principle of alignment and what are the benefits? Why alignment is important in yoga practice and what is the significance of relaxation in yoga sadhana? So, let us move towards today's topic. First of all, before starting this, let us know the meaning of alignment. What is the meaning of the word alignment? So, the word alignment refers to how the head, shoulders and your spine, your hips, knees, your ankles, they relate and line up with each other. See, there is a line, there is a vertical LOG, line of gravity, that starts from the top of the head and then falls down, and it finally goes down between your feet. So, crossing your joints, it goes down between your feet starting from the top of the head. There is a vertical line, central axis running in the body. So, it divides the body equally from front and back to the right side and the left side. So, if the body is aligned in proper alignment, there is less stress on your spine and your muscles, and your posture is good. If there is any misalignment, then it can lead to poor posture and several musculoskeletal related problems in the body. So, you can see here in the first picture, you can see the hips, your shoulders, they are not aligned, they are not equally aligned, they are not in one line. You can see the knees, and in the second pic you can see that the shoulders are in one line, the hip joints are in one line, the knees are properly aligned. This is good posture. And another picture, in the third picture, you can see there is sway back. So, you can see the posture is like this. So, there is person is leaning back, and in the second picture there is lumbar lordosis. You can see there is increase in the lumbar curvature of the spine. This is a poor posture again, and in the third there is thoracic kyphosis. This is a kyphotic posture. This is because of the result of the tight chest muscles and weak upper back muscles. This is kyphotic posture, and this can lead to several diseases. All these kind of poor posture, they can lead to several type of disorders, like increase in lumbar lordosis can also lead to many problems. Increase in kyphosis can even cause breathing difficulties because of this posture. Okay, then there is a forward head posture. In the sixth, you can see forward head, the head is tilted forward. So, it happens because of what? It happens because of excess of neck curvature. There is tight neck extensors and weak neck flexors in this. So, this can lead to lot of weight on the neck region that can result into neck pain, and it can also lead to cervical spondylosis, degenerative changes in the neck in the long run. And last, you can see there is good posture, properly spine is neutral, the shoulders are in one line, and the vertical line is just falling from top of the head to it is between the feet properly. So, now how to improve alignment? See, our joints and muscles, they play a vital role in maintenance of good physical appearance and proper alignment. If there is any imbalance in the muscle, that can lead to poor posture. If there is any imbalance in the joint, that can lead to poor posture. Our paraspinal muscles or anterior and posterior muscles, they play a vital role in maintaining proper alignment and balance. So, what happened nowadays, our lifestyle has become very sedentary, which includes poor flexibility, strength, endurance in muscles and ligaments, that can lead to many type of muscle imbalances, that leads to poor posture, and that can result into many disorders, many musculoskeletal disorders. So, why alignment is important in yoga practice? You can see if there is imbalance in neck, if there is like tightening around the neck region, that can result into neck pain. If there is tightness around the shoulder region, that can result into shoulder pain, frozen shoulder. If there is any tightness around your hip region, that can result into hip pain, or any tightness around the back, that can result into back pain, and tightness of the quadricep muscle, hamstring muscle, that can result into knee pain. And this can result to many type of disorder. That means tightness in the muscles. Muscles should be relaxed, they should be properly balanced and properly aligned. So, now there is a Panchakosha theory in yoga. In yoga, we do not consider body as just physical. There are 5 layers in our body, which run from outer Annamaya Kosha, then Pranamaya, then Manomaya and Vigyan, and the innermost is the blissful sheath, that is Anandamaya Kosha. So, they all need to be balanced, they all need to be aligned. There is proper flow of prana in the body for proper alignment in the Annamaya Kosha, in the physical body, and also there should be proper functioning of the mental sheath, emotional sheath. They all should be regulated, they all should be balanced for the proper functioning of the Annamaya Kosha, the physical body. If there is any problem in any of the kosha, like if there is problem in Manomaya Kosha, because generally disease starts from the Manomaya Kosha. If there is any problem with Manomaya Kosha, that can result to irregular breathing, and that can also result in problem, musculoskeletal problem, poor postures. So, you can see many people when they are in stress, it impacts their mind, their breathing and also their posture. So, our mind also has an impact on our posture. You are stressed, your breathing is erratic, then what happens? Because of that, your posture becomes like this. When you are sad, there is a different expression on your face. When you are happy, there is a different expression. Your shoulders are in a different way. When you are happy, you stand like this, and when you are sad, you do like this. So, what happens? Your face expression, your body expression, they become different with the different state of mind. So, by working on all these koshas also, we can achieve proper alignment of the body and we can prevent many diseases, and by relaxing also our mind. This is also very important. So, we have to work on all the koshas to get proper alignment. This is not just about balancing the physical aspect. You have to balance your pranic as well as your mental aspects also, your emotional body also, to reach that Anandamaya sheath, the blissful sheath. So, like also there are many chakras in the body, there are many energy centers in the body, like there is Muladhara chakra, there is Manipur chakra, the navel center, there is Anhat chakra, the heart center, there is Vishuddhi chakra, throat, Agya chakra, there are different chakras in the body. There is, and these chakras are related with the endocrine glands. So, whenever there is any problem in any chakra, when there is any imbalance in any chakra, that can lead to malfunctioning of the endocrine gland, and when the endocrine glands are not functioning properly, that can result into many disorders. So, like or Muladhara is connected with adrenal glands. So, what is the function of adrenal glands? Fight and flight responses. Because of adrenal glands, they are responsible for these functioning. So, the person will be in fear when there is any imbalance in this chakra, and if the sacral chakra is related with or sexual energy, and the solar plexus is connected with the creation, the creativeness in us, and digestion also impacts, and our heart chakra is related with our breathing, with expression of our emotions. Vishuddhi chakra is connected with the Agya chakra. So, these all chakras are related with the glands, and which ultimately affects our mind and as well as our prana and our body posture also, alignment also, and our health and wellness state. So, there are different nadis in our body. In yoga, we consider there are 72,000 nadis in our body, and the prana flows through all these nadis. So, primarily there are 3 nadis, Ida, Pingala and Sushumna. So, when there is equal pranic flow in all these energy channels, then it affects our energy levels, it affects our posture, it affects our body, health and wellness. So, this is also very important to maintain proper pranic flow in the nadi. Now, see, so there are sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system connected with our nadis. You can see there are 2 types of nervous system, sympathetic and parasympathetic. They are the branches of the autonomic nervous system, where the sympathetic nervous system, which is connected with Pingala nadi, the Surya nadi, and the parasympathetic is connected with the lunar side, the moon, the Ida nadi. So, what happens? These nadis are connected with our chakras. So, what happens when there is imbalance in the nadis? That results into imbalance in the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, that can result into many diseases. Now, what is the function of sympathetic nervous system and what is the function of parasympathetic nervous system? Whenever there is excess of activity of sympathetic, then there is heart rate increases, there is increase in heart rate, there is so much stress in us, because the function is heart rate increase. If you see it dilates the pupil. So, these type of functions increase in the body. So, and the function of parasympathetic is rest and digest. So, whenever there is less activity of parasympathetic nervous system because of imbalance in the nadis, then what happens? The food is not digested properly, you will not be able to get proper relaxation, and that can result into stress. And whenever there is excess of parasympathetic, even too much of excess of good is even bad. So, whenever there is excess of parasympathetic activity, the person will be always in rest. So, there should be a balance between the sympathetic and parasympathetic. Although nowadays most of the people, they live in that excess of sympathetic mode, there is excess of sympathetic mode nowadays, but so we try to switch to parasympathetic, but in the ultimately there should be a balance between the two. Excess of sympathetic and excess of parasympathetic both can be bad. So, there should be a balance between the Ida and the Pingala. So, whenever there is excess of the sympathetic, nervous system, then we first try to move towards parasympathetic and then we try to attain a balance between the two. So, in this way the nadis should be the flow of the prana between the nadis should be equal first of all, and for that to for proper flow of prana there should be proper functioning of manomaya kosha, and that can result into proper good posture in the annamaya kosha, proper alignment in the body, and that can prevent many diseases. So, now how to improve alignment? So, there is a line of gravity as you all know that divides the body equally into front and back and right and left. So, we should always lengthen the spine, we should straight like spine should be lengthened, and we should keep the shoulders in one level, same level, shoulders should be aligned properly, and avoid excessive pelvic anterior or posterior tilt, both are bad. Then maintain both the pelvic bones in same level, they should be in the same level, and your knees and ankles should be parallel and at equal level, and there is equal distribution of weight on both the side. Like if this time you are standing, you can feel if the weight is equally distributed, if your spine is neutral and just check your shoulders in one line, you can feel the impact on your body. Whenever your posture is correct, then that means your the prana is flowing freely in the body, that means the endocrine functions are working properly. When the posture is bad, then that means there will be disruption in the flow of prana, that means the endocrine functions are not functioning properly, and there is obviously imbalance in the sympathetic and parasympathetic also, and that can result to many diseases. Okay. So, now how to improve alignment? Like you see in the first picture, the person is doing Paschimottanasana, the back is hunch, if you can see there is back hunch. So, this is a poor posture, if you can see here the back is hunch and the person is doing wrong in a wrong way, and that can result into disease, back pain, that can result into back pain also if you do in this way, that can result into postural problems. So, in the second posture you can see the spine is straight, elongated, and the person is doing, there is less stress on the back. This is the proper way to do, this is the proper way to do Paschimottanasana. You should bend always forward from the lower back, you can see the alignment of the body in this. And then you can check Ardha Matsyendrasana, even in the twisting postures when you twist, it should be very important to keep the spine stretch up and the shoulders should be in one line, and your muscles should be twisted equally on both the sides. This is very important in twisting postures. Many times people do twisted postures, and then we notice that the COG is not properly aligned and the shoulders are not in one line, the spine is not uplifted. This should be keep in mind. And if we see Tadasana here, you can see in Tadasana head should be neutral, the spine neutral, the knees soft, the elbows attached to the ears, the arms should be straight and balanced. This is very important to maintain proper alignment in the postures. If you do postures in a wrong way, that can result into problems. If you do them in the right way, you will get all the benefits out of the postures. So, in the sitting posture you can see there is central axis and there are two sideways axes also that are forming a triangle, and this provides more base of support. We feel more stable when we are in sitting postures and we can do meditation into them, and balance and alignment is also very related. So, when you are sitting in sitting postures, you are comparatively more balanced than when you are in standing postures. So, that is why balance and your alignment, they are interrelated. Generally our alignment also get disturbed when the balance get disturbed, and our balance depends on three things. It depends on our line of gravity that I have told you. It is the central axis that starts from the root of the head and it runs down below and then it falls between the feet, and there is also a center of gravity, that is the region, it specifically lies on the second sacral vertebra, and this is the exact location of the center of gravity in the body. Then there is base of support. The more wider your legs and feet, the more base of support, then more stability you will have. So, when you increase the space between your feet, then there is more base of support, you feel more stable. Like if you are in sitting position, there is more base of support, so you feel more balance, and then alignment also gets enhanced. And when you stand up, like in Tadasana, when you lift your arms up, so that what happens, that your COG also goes upward. When COG goes upward, then you feel little bit out of balance, that is why your alignment can also be disturbed, but with practice we can improve it. and when you sit down, that center of gravity goes down. That improves your balance and your alignment also. So, for more balance, your COG should go down and your base of support should be more. So, when you join your feet together, so there is less base of support. When there is less base of support, then there are chances of imbalance, instability, and there are chances of misalignment also. So, but with practice, with yogic practice, we work on them, and when you lift your arms up, your COG also goes up. When the COG goes up, then there are chances of imbalances and also misalignment. But with practice, we work on all these aspects. So, like in we should also distribute the weight on both the feet properly, equally distribute. Like in Veerbhadrasana, you can see in this poster, the both the feet should be in one line, they should be straight, and your feet should be equally distributed throughout the four corners of your feet. That can help attain balance and proper alignment. So, there are also, our alignment is related with the breathing. Now, you will be surprised that how can our alignment be related with breathing. You must have noticed that whenever we say inhale and go back, we always say whenever you extend back, we say inhale, and whenever you bend forward, we say exhale and bend forward. And if you do it in another way, like if you go back and you will exhale, and if you bend forward and you will inhale, then you can feel there will be a problem in the posture that can lead to many problems, that can arise into bad posture also. So, basically what happens when you lift your arms up, you stretch your thoracic region, then you should inhale ideally, and when you bend forward, there is compression in the abdominal muscle and stretching of the back muscles, then you should always exhale. So, because there is compression in the abdominal region. So, and you should always tuck your tummy in even while moving from one position to another, because that supports your back muscles. What happens when you loosen your front abdominal muscle, they are weak, they will not be able to support your back muscles. So, if you want to give stability to your back muscle, you should always work on your core muscles also, you should always tuck your tummy in. So, what is the importance of proper correct alignment for proper flow of energies in your nadis? Like I have told you, it relieves stress because of the poor posture, or muscles also get stressed because of the poor posture by being in continuously wrong position, like head tilted forward or this upper back hunched in kyphotic posture. So, we should always maintain proper posture and alignment, and also our both side spinal muscles should be properly contracted and relaxed. All the internal organs and system of the body, they should properly function, because as I have told you, the chakras are related with the endocrine glands. So, whenever there is imbalance in the body, then there will be imbalance in the endocrine functions also, whenever there is imbalance in the chakras, and this can prevent many spinal deformities like scoliosis, kyphosis, scoliokyphosis, and it helps maintain normal range of movements in all the joints. Because of the poor posture, many time what happens, there is limited range of movement because of the poor posture. This can lead to stiffness in the muscles and joints. Now, it prevents many type of respiratory, digestive and musculoskeletal disorder. Yes, as I have told you that if there is overactivity of the sympathetic, then this can result into digestive issues. If there is any imbalance in the Manipur chakra, that can result into digestive issues, and if there is any problem with the chakra, that Anhat chakra, that can also result into respiratory problem, or if there is posture is kyphotic, then it can also result into respiratory problems, and many type of musculoskeletal disorders can be arise because of all these trouble. So, that is why it is very important to correct our postural alignment in yoga. That is the significance, and also they are connected with our tridoshas, Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So, if whenever there is imbalance in the tridoshas, that can also result into poor posture or misalignment in the body. And proper alignment, proper posture also relax our body, whole body. If your muscles are properly aligned, they are in the posture is good, then the muscles will be completely relaxed, because whenever there is poor posture, some muscles will be tightened and some muscle will be relaxed. So, the tightened muscles will lead to tightening contraction in the body, leading to back pain, knee pain, neck pain and all type of painful conditions. So, because of proper alignment, the chakras and endocrine functions are enhanced. So, that is the significance. It leads to proper muscle relaxation. It also improves the cardiac output, and it stimulates the proprioceptors in our joints, ligament and muscles. That means to improve your joint position sense, because whenever there is loss of proprioceptions in your joints, ligament, that can lead to injuries also, because whenever there is loss of sense of positioning of our body joints, then that can result into injuries, that can result into falls, and it also speeds up the healing process in the body. It also speeds up the rejuvenation of the body, and Yogasana helps play a very important role for ensuring the better coordination with physical and mental aspect effectively for promotion of health. Because of Yogasana also our postures improve, or alignment improves, you get better sense of proprioception, or muscles get relaxed properly. And yoga practice with principle of alignment, if you do in a proper way, that increase the body mind coordination, which is the most important aspect of yoga. Because of yoga practice your postures improve, it speeds up the recovery process, healing process, rejuvenation. Whenever there is proper flow of prana, that can accelerate your healing also, and rejuvenation of the body as well as the mind. That is why Yogasana play a very important role for ensuring the better coordination between the physical and mental aspects effectively. It relaxes your muscles and it increases range of motion, improves flexibility, endurance, strength. So, it works on all the level, even it works on the mental levels also, it works on the pranic level also. So, if you do Yogasana with principles of alignment, that will increase the body mind coordination. That is the primary objective of yoga, because many times you have seen that people are doing, all the people in the classroom, they are doing the same posture, but some people are getting good benefit, some people are not getting benefit. What is the difference between the two? Difference comes into alignment, what is alignment, and difference is into the posture they follow, and difference into the way they get relaxation. So, we should always keep in mind these principles of alignment while doing yoga practices to get the benefits. So, it is relaxation is also very important in yoga sadhana. Many times people do 108 Surya Namaskar and all these practices, but they do not want to relax. Relaxation is also very important, because whenever a muscle gets contracted, it is very important to relax that muscle to get the function effectively, to get the benefit effectively. So, that will balance the functioning of autonomic nervous system also, and it allows the subtle energy to flow smoothly without any hindrances, without any inhibitions, and it will release the muscular tension, it will increase the blood and nutrition supply, and it will elevate the free radicals and toxic substances also, it will remove from the body. So, it elevates free radicals, toxic substances, it removes from the body. And so, this is the significance of the alignment and relaxation in yoga sadhana. We should always follow the principles of alignment while doing yoga practices to get the full benefits, and we should always relax. Also, after doing each practice, we should do Shavasana, we should relax the body completely to get the full benefits in yoga sadhana. Namaste. We may end the session with Om chanting. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently place your palms on your eyes, open your eyes.